Sales and Marketing here at Nodus Technologies. At Nodus, we specialize in electronic payment applications that allow you to streamline and secure your AR processes. So today we're going to be talking about how do you improve your payment collection process. And we will be focusing on GP as a back end, although as a company, we do integrate with other platforms outside of Microsoft Dynamics, such as all the Microsoft 365 ones and some Oracle SAP too. But for this conversation, we're going to be focusing on Microsoft Dynamics GP. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my agenda. So today we're going to be talking about what exactly is a manual AR process, like what does a typical accounts receivable process looks like. And then we will talk about how do you streamline some of that, how can you improve that. We will talk about integrated payment processing. So you as a Dynamics GP user, how can you securely process payments for your customers? And then we will also talk about some self-service payment options that you can offer your customers so this way they can take charge of their payments. So we will talk about those three things. Due to the short limitation of the time, we're not going to go in a deep dive demo. I will show you a demo. I will show you how some of this application work, but please feel free to reach out to your representative at Implementation Specialist, and they will be more than happy to connect you with us and set up a call so we can show you exactly how we can help you improve your processes. So with that, please, and also towards the end, we will open up the floor for question and answers. But I am keeping an eye on the chat section of the GoToWebinar as well. So if you do have any questions, meanwhile, please go ahead and type, and I will respond as time permits. So let's start off with recognizing what exactly is accounts receivables. Account receivable is basically money coming into your business. So all of your incoming revenue, that's basically what accounts receivable is, right? For a lot of businesses, it's basically they consider it, the industry consider it as the heartline of a business. It is something that is very close to your to the executive team, for the owners, business owners, or for the CEOs or the CFOs and all the C-level suites, to make sure that your teams who are selling or who are invoicing the customers, to make sure that how your payments are being collected in a timely fashion. There is a KPI that's considered, it's a KPI which says DSO. DSO stands for Days Sales Outstanding. This KPI is something that the executive level keep a very close eye on to make sure that they are collecting payments on time. So the idea is that the lower the DSO, the better your performance of your AR team is. So accounts receivable basically entails of managing your incoming revenue, collecting payments from your customers, offsetting your sales documents. Like if there's an invoice that's outstanding, make sure that the payment that you have received is now reflected on that document and is paid off, and then which essentially relates to overall managing your accounting systems. So this way, if you have customer service teams or client services teams or even your sales teams, when they look up your they're on the phone with the customer or your clients, or they're looking up someone's account, they know that hey, their balances are paid off, we can continue providing them services and things like that. So basically, the accounts receivables department is responsible for collecting all the outstanding revenue while achieving accuracy and efficiency. And that's basically what we will talk about now. So we'll talk about efficiency. So in order to do that, what we have done is we have created a very simple workflow, which will help you picture what a typical AR process looks like. And again, some of you might relate to this and say, that, hey, yeah, this is very similar to what we do. And some of you might say, no, ours is a lot simpler, or ours is a lot more complicated. But this is a typical life cycle. This is what a typical circle looks like. So first, you have an invoice, and it doesn't matter where the invoice came from, whatnot. The idea is that you're going to post that invoice, and posting an invoice in accounting terms means that invoice is now valid. So let's talk about GP as an example. In GP, when you create an invoice and when you post it to the customer's account, that's when the invoice is now reflected and the customer now has an outstanding balance. So step one, you create an invoice and you post the customer's account. Step two is you have to deliver that invoice to the customer, right? And how do you do that? Sometimes you would do it through email. You'll email it to the customer, or sometimes you can do paper mail, like actual postal service, which is fine. But either way, you deliver that invoice to the customer, and then a very common task is to send reminders, unless if you have customers that are always paying on time, which is somewhat unique. But in most cases, accounts receivable teams have to have set up collection efforts to collect payments from the customers by sending their customers reminders that, hey, you have an outstanding balance. But let's say your customer is ready to make a payment, then you have to process that payment. Sometimes they will mail you a check. If it's a check in the mail, then you will have to deposit that check to your bank. If it's a credit card, hopefully, over the phone, hopefully you're not taking it on emails. That's very dangerous. But let's say you securely took the credit card number from the customer, then you have to process that credit card payment. And once that payment is processed, then you're going to send a confirmation to the customer, letting them know that, hey, your payment has been processed. Thank you for making a payment. Now, if the credit card is declined, the process starts all over again. Now you have to connect with the customer and get a new payment information from them. But let's pretend that the payment went through, you send them confirmation, and then lastly, you're going to apply that in payment to the invoice. So this way, the invoice is reflected and is paid off in your system. So anybody who looks at the customer's account, it doesn't show any outstanding balance on the account. It shows that it's been paid off. This is what a typical AR process looks like. So that's why we call this an AR circle. Now, as I mentioned, that some of you might relate to this, and some of you might say that, hey, ours is a little different than this. But this is just generally speaking. And now everything that I have grayed out, all of this can be automated. And this can be automated if you by the application that we bring to the table. So essentially, the solution that I'm going to show you today will help you not only automate the delivery of the invoice to the customer, it will also automate reminders, so the customer is automatically reminded on a timely manner. It will also allow customers to make payments on their own. So this way customers can make payments on their own, or I will also show you how you can process payment. Then it will also, once the payment is processed, whether you processed it or even if the customer processed it, after that, the system will automatically send receipts. And then most importantly, the system will automatically update your accounting system. So this way, again, in this case, we're using GP as an example. So this way, GP will be updated. So this way, the entire circle that I just showed you, all of that can be automated using our application. So this is essentially, like I said, it was more of a like an overview of what that is. But now I'm gonna do a little deeper dive and show you exactly how this application works. And again, I'm using GP as an example, and I'm going to show you high level of how the solution works. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you an add-on that we have created for GP. So inside of GP, we have created an application called Credit Card Advantage. Credit Card Advantage is Microsoft Dynamic GP's payment processing system. This is certified by Microsoft. It's been around for since beginning of time, actually, ever since Microsoft had great GP. In fact, this application existed even before Microsoft acquired Great Plains, when it was just Great Plains. So Credit Card Advantage has been around was the first. Think of it as a first payment system that was created for GP and has been around the longest. It has lots and lots of functionality around how you process payments, how do you manage those payments, and some other functionalities. So again, Credit Card Advantage is it's an add-on. So when you install Credit Card Advantage, it will be part of GP. And using Credit Card Advantage, you can process payments from any of the receivable modules of GP, whether it's sales transaction entry window, whether it's invoice entry window, transaction entry, or even cash receipt. So most of the time, I would say I have noticed that cash receipt is the most commonly used area. So I'm going to start off with cash receipt, and I will show you a couple other examples too. So let's say you want to process a payment. All you do is you come here, you create a cash receipt, which is what you're looking at on the screen, and this is a GP process. This is how GP, you create a cash receipt in GP. You select credit card as a method of payment, and then you enter the dollar amount. So in this case, I'll just enter $100, and then hit tab. So when you tab off, because credit card was selected, it automatically opened up this window called the e-transaction entry window. Let me move it in the middle. This is where Credit Card Advantage kicks in. This is where Nodus our application kicks in. Here, if you notice, there is a default credit card number that's pre-populated. You can use this credit card number if you like, or you can choose any other credit card from the customer's wallet. So this customer has 2 credit cards on file. You can either use one of these, or if you like, you can type in a brand new credit card number. So if it's a first-time customer or doesn't have a credit card on file, you can type a new one. Now, let me pause here for a second and talk about security. This application is PCI certified. We go through a very, very intense PCI testing process to make sure that it meets all the security regulations, all the PCI regulations, and only once it's certified, that's when we launch our application. So this is listed on PCI's website, on the Visa's website, and on MasterCard's website as well as a certified application. And also, the way we have architected this solution is that at any given point, although you have a credit card number that is available in GP, but at any given point, your GP is not exposed to any of this credit card data. This credit card data that you're looking at right here, this doesn't exist in GP. This is coming from our cloud. So behind the scene, we use our cloud application called PayFabric, which is our payment cloud. So this way, GP is never exposed to credit card data. So even when I make the selection, this whole section right here is actually coming from GP. So when I type in a brand new credit card number, it's not touching GP at all. It's bypassing GP and is going straight to our cloud. So this way, from the security perspective, this is the most secure system for GP. You can essentially confidently say that GP does not get exposed to any of your servers, or GP does not get exposed to any of the customer's credit card data if you use it the way the system is designed, or this application is designed. So for this example, I'm going to use a credit card that's already on file, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the process button. So it will process this payment in real time. It will tell me right away if the payment went through or not. In this case, it went through, so I got an approval message. If this payment was declined, I would have gotten a decline message as well. Now, a copy of this has already been emailed to the customer. And just to show you as an example, it's a template that you can, this is what I just processed. This is just to show you as an example. It's a template that you can modify, put your own company logo, your own message, very easy to modify. But the idea is that we automate receipt delivery. So every time a credit card is processed, the system automatically sends that receipt in the back end. Okay, so this was an example of how the payment is processed using the from the cash receipt window, but you can process it directly from an invoice level. You can process it on an order level. You can even do things like pre-authorizations on an order and then capture once that order is fulfilled and transfer to an invoice. You can also process this in bulk, like batch mode, and you can also send link, like a secure hyperlink to collect payment from the customer. So just a very quick example on that, right? So let's say, hypothetically speaking, I'm creating an order, and let's just do an invoice, doesn't matter. I can do order or an invoice. And here, if I want to collect payment from this customer, and let's pretend that I don't have their credit card on file, I can, as a business owner, you can decide, as a business decision maker, you can say that, hey, we're not going to take any credit cards over the phone anymore. So you can either guide your customers to the portal, which I'm going to show you next, but you can also send them a link directly from your GP. So if I click on this additional and click on this option that says send payment link, I can enter their email address or their cell phone number. And what this will do is it will, I can send them email and SMS or either one of them. So when I send them a text message, it will actually send them a text message on their cell phone with a link on it that they can click and make a one-time quick payment. So that's just essentially a very easy, simple way to collect payments from your customers. And those payments will be updated back into your accounting system, into GP immediately. So that's how you can essentially send payments, like a link to collect payment from your customers as well. Again, Credit Card Advantage has a lot of other features too, like reporting and some of the reconciliation tools that comes along with it that just makes it super simple and streamlined for you to manage your incoming payments. I'm not going to go through in depth for each one of them, but we'd love to talk to you in details about that. So now I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to talk about our customer service, self-service customer portal. And this is essentially where the whole AR automation comes into place. This is a customer service portal, and it has a customer service side and it has a customer side. So I'm going to log in as a customer. So, and again, you can have your own company logo on it, so please ignore this. But the idea is that as a customer, when I go here, I can log in, I can view my account, and I can view my, my balances, right? So what happens is, actually, hold on, let me refresh the page just to make sure it's loaded. Okay, so here I have basically I have a list of all my invoices. This is a very similar system to like how you pay your cell phone bills or how you pay your utility bills. Basically, in a similar manner, your customers can go online and view their accounts, and they can make a payment on their own. So all these invoices are coming directly from GP. So if you create, and you can drill down onto an invoice to see the detail of this invoice as well. So let's say you have an invoice in GP. The moment you post it, immediately that invoice is available on the portal. And at the same time, immediately, it sends a customer a notification with a copy of that invoice. Customers can log in, they can view that invoice, they can make a payment, and then as a result, the payment is processed and is updated back into Great Plains. So let's look at that for a second, right? So I'm going to log out again for 1 second, and I'm going to go into GP, and let's pretend that I work with your team, and I'm going to create an invoice for the customer, and I'm going to say that they bought a, let's call it implementation for $300. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and post this invoice. This is a regular GP process that you're already familiar with. So now the invoice has been posted. So what happens now is that that invoice is already available on the portal, but at the same time, it sends an email notification to the customer. And let me show you what that notification looks like. Give me one moment. Okay. The notification that goes to the customer, I'm sorry, I'm opening my my Outlook right here. The notification that goes to the customer, again, is just a template that you can write anything you want to write on it, and you can design this however you want, but it has a copy of PDF copy of invoice attached to it. At the same time, it does have like a links to make a payment on it as well. So again, just a simple notification, but most importantly, what has happened is here, if I come over here, I will see that invoice came in right away. So this invoice it says invoice 321. So if I click on this, it will show me the detail of that, and it shows you right here that the invoice is available. Now, one more thing that I actually wanted to show you. So this is I'm going to go back in a second. So this is also another template that I had designed just to show you that you can have like different templates. So this is you can also design like this. So this is like a little bit have a modern look to it. Again, it has a copy of PDF of the invoice attached to it, so it turns into like an invoice delivery system. But then it has an option for pay now. If I click pay now, the customer can essentially make a payment without the need of logging in. This comes in really handy, especially if you have customers like that are one-off customers, or someone who might not want to have a username password, right? Because maybe they don't do they're not a recurring type of customers. So this way you can use this portal for even one-off customers, or even like some customers who are more of a recurring customers. So as a customer, I have an option. I can view like a PDF of my invoice, or I can pay now, or I can log into the portal to make payment. So for this example, I'm just going to go ahead and pay now. I'm going to hit continue to pay. It shows me what payment information I have on file with you. So again, this is the same wallet that I saw in GP. So as a customer, if I add a new wallet here, like a new entry, it will be available for you to view in GP as well, because all of this is saved in our cloud. So I can either pay by check or by credit card. I can pay electronic check if I want to, or I can choose a credit card that I have on file, or I can put a new one if I want to. So for this example, I'm just going to go ahead and use this credit card. Again, it's a real-time processing, so it will tell you immediately that if this went through or not. If this was declined, then I would have, as a customer, I would have gotten a decline message. And if it's approved, then I will get this approval message. Now, a copy of this confirmation has already been emailed, and it basically displays a friendly message that shows you where it went. So again, it comes in immediately, so it looks like this. So this is a copy of that confirmation right here. And at the same time, this payment has already been submitted to GP. So if I go and if I look at a PFR 217, I will be able to see this payment in GP. So if I go here, and I can either look up if I want to, or I can just copy paste that number if I want to. So it's up to me how I want to look at it up. Let me just go this way real quick. So PFR 217, see, it came in right away for 321. And if I click the apply button, I will see that it's already been applied for the right invoices for the right amounts. So this was applied for $321 to this invoice. So everything is mapped out throughout the day as your customers are making payments. Those payments will continue to come into GP in real time. So this is literally everything that I talked about in that circle. This is basically what this is. From the time the invoice was created, automatically it distributes that invoice to the customer. The customer has an option to either go to the portal and make a payment, or to just make a payment by clicking a one-time click link. Either way, the payment is processed, and then prompt payment is submitted back into GP, like I showed you, and it's applied to the right invoices for the right amount. So this way, all your entry is done. You don't have to do any manual processing, and you don't have to do any, you don't have to figure out which payment goes to which invoice. Everything is completely mapped out. Again, just like the GP site that I said, I'm gonna same over here. Portal does have a lot of functionality. such as you can sign up for automatic payments, you can do deposits, view history, and then most importantly, this portal does have a customer service site as well. So this way, as a customer service user, I can essentially go in and I can log into my account and view the customer. Let me try this again. So this is essentially a customer service type of login where I can go in, I can see my my account. I can essentially go to view any of the invoices that are outstanding. So if your team wants to do like a collection effort, they can do that directly from here. Like they can look at any of the customers. So let's say if I'm on the phone with a customer, I'm on the phone with somebody named like, let's say Advanced Paper Company, right? I can look at their invoices. I can sign up for auto pay. I can, view their history. So if somebody wants to make a payment over the phone, I can do that directly from GP, like I showed you. But I can also just click here and make a payment on behalf of a customer. So this way, your customer service reps can log in and do that too. And if you have a collection team that wants to send collection letters to the customer, although the system automatically sends reminders, but you can select the invoices and you can send them reminders as well. And you can have multiple templates of reminders, so you can decide whichever template you want to send. You can send reminders that way too. So again, there's a lot of functionality, and that obviously, that I'm not going to go over in all of them. But one last thing that I do want to talk about is on the invoice details. So some of you, if you are using Key to Act, and if you use Key to Act to generate invoices, this has an integration into that as well. And that invoice would look something like this over here, where you will see all the Key to Act billing codes and you will see the description and everything. So technically, this can work with your Key to Act implementation as well. What I just showed you right now is, although we call it AR automation, but it's basically just a self-service payment portal. It's something that all of us use in our daily lives, whether we pay our cell phone bills, whether we pay our utility bills. We have an expectation that if we do business with a company, like if I'm signing up for a cell phone provider, I want to pay my cell phone bill online. Likewise, our customers now has a similar expectation, where if they want to do business with you, like if you are one of their vendors, then they want to make sure that, hey, you give them option to pay online. It just makes it easy. And the statistics show that if you do offer payment portal, self-service payment portal, you see efficiency in punctuality. Like you will see your payments more on time. You will see increase in customer loyalty, and you will actually see increase in sales. The psychology behind that is that as customer who's tied to with you or who do business with you online, they tend to, will look into other, buying other services from you as well. So just to wrap up, as a company, I mentioned earlier, Nodus has been around since beginning of GP time, since 2001. That's when Nodus was formed, and then before that, we were part of, we were a sister company, but Nodus as a company formed in 2001. We specialize in e-payment processing. We have customer payment portal, e-commerce solutions, payment hyperlinks, a full receivable management tool, which I just briefly talked about. And then lastly, we do offer merchant services too. So this is something important, that Nodus is a division of a company called Evo Payments. Evo is one of the largest payment processor with a global presence. We have offices in North America and Europe, like in Central America as well. And since we are part of Evo, we are a processor ourselves. So when you use our solutions, you don't have to deal with any third-party services, which essentially not only gives you more on payment expertise, but we pretty much guarantee you that the fees on the payment processing that you're going to pay through us are going to be lower than anyone else, because there is no middleman. And we do support all US and international payment processing as well. So with that, thank you so much, Judy. I'm going to hand it over to you right on the clock. And thank you again for letting us be part of your world. Thank you, Judy.
Well, thank you so much. Great presentation. I just love your product. And we do have a question here. And if there's any other questions, please go ahead and either raise your hand or type the question in the question box. But we have one here that says, some people do not want to take credit cards over the phone. They don't want to give you your credit card. Is there a way to collect their credit cards securely and then process it maybe at a later time?
Oh, good question. So I did mention that we have a method which allows you to process payments directly from GP. Like, you can send them a link if you don't want to collect payment from them. But like, let's say if you don't want to collect the credit card number from them, you can just send them a link. But let's say if you want to just collect the credit card number, we do have something called wallet link, where I can send somebody a link to collect credit card information to be saved for future use, not to process immediately. So the example that I showed you earlier, that is to collect payment from like Judy, for example. I can send a Judy an invoice with a link on it, so she can just make a payment, and payment processing comes into GP. But let's say if I don't want to process Judy's payment today, but I just want to keep her payment information on file, I can send her this thing called wallet link. So this way it will be stored on file for future use.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I like that you can have it for at a later date. I'm going to be out of town or something, but I need this paid in a week. So that's an excellent, excellent
Yeah.
wallet feature. Thank you so much. Any other questions that we might have today? I don't see any additional ones. We do have this recording, and we'll have this recording out on our website for others in the future if you wanted to watch it. Thank you again so much, and thank you for being a part of GPUC this year, the event, and we look forward to doing more webinars and more work with you. And for the customers that are attending this, please let me know if you would like to set up a special demo, and we can set that up for you right away, or whenever you're able, because this tool, the tools that Nodus has, can just streamline everyone's business, and we have a new year coming up, so let's put this on our budget calendar and figure out how to simplify our lives. So it's good. Thank you all. Thank everyone for attending, and have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Judy. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.